the watercolor paintings on this wall, I just want to point out that this one is not mine. This is my youngest brother's. I have 3. He did that and he wanted to put it up in the gallery, as we call this, and I think it deserves to be up there. It's pretty good. Hello dear friends, and welcome to episode 7 of the Dear Friend podcast. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you are new, hi, I'm Eden. I'm the owner of Yarrow & Co., where I sell my handmade polymer clay charms and watercolor paintings like these ones, and some other handmade treasures. You can find the shop at yarrowandco.squarespace.com. You can find me on Instagram as yarrowmail44. You could also find me as yarrowmail on Ravelry. And on Ravelry, you can also find the Dear Friend podcast group. Sneak peek at what's finished. So I have some finished objects. I have 2 finished objects, crazy. I've got some whips, and yeah, I'm very excited. I have a mug to show off, but before we get into all that great stuff, I want to talk about the handmade holiday long. So today is the 20th of June. I might be wrong, but that means that the next giveaway is happening very, very soon. And this month's prizes are going to be these. These are going to be 3 separate prizes and some skeins of yarn from Ginger Snap. They are so, so pretty. If you want to see them all in detail, go to the episode before where I talked about this yarn. I don't want to crinkle them too much like in that one. But yeah, on the 25th of every month, I draw giveaway prizes from the finished gift objects from that month. So from May, right after May 25th draw till the 25th at midnight, it will close. And everybody who finished their gift knits or gift crocheted or sewed or whatever craft will be put in for the giveaway prize of those yarns. So if you want to get in on that, I highly recommend to rush over and put in your gift knits for Christmas. And I'm thinking that I'm going to allow some other holidays in there because not everybody celebrates Christmas, and sometimes it's hard to get into that Christmas mojo so early in the year. For me, I'm a Christmas nut, so it's not that hard to just want to get Christmassy in the middle of June. But yeah, so giveaway prize happening on the, I will close for this month's, this section's finished objects thread. I will close that at midnight on the 25th of June. So hurry and get your stuff on in there. I will open up a new thread for the July giveaway, and that's for another time. But yeah, so I want to talk about the handmade holiday long. And next thing, before we get on to finished objects, what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my, Piece of Silver sweater by Vera Falamaki. I changed this a lot. It originally has a turtleneck, but I'm not a huge fan of turtlenecks, so I just did like a little 1-inch ribbing, and it is a long sleeve, but I didn't have enough yarn to do a long sleeve, so we just did a short sleeve. And I'm actually wearing this inside out, so all the pearl bumps are showing, you can see there, It looks so cool. I sorry, I really, really like it. The colorway in this yarn is Deep Cove from Smith and U, so that's Smith and the and symbol, and then U as in like a U sheep, E-W-E. I'm also wearing my granny striped cowl, which I wear so much. It's been blocked, so it's really light, and it opened up a little bit. It's really pretty, and it's nice and warm. It hasn't gotten warm here yet, and I kind of doubt it will get really warm because we're too far north to really get good temperatures, and we live on the west coast, so it's just been wet and cold. But I don't really mind because I'm not a heat person. My limit is it will get up to like 20 and maybe like 23 I can get up to, but once it starts hitting like above 25, it's way too hot for me. I'm very pathetic like that. So I don't mind the cold because that just gives me a reason to wear my knits even more around the year. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing, and I'm very happy to be wearing like some overalls with this because when I started knitting, I wanted to be like Andrea Mallory and wear my hand knit sweaters with a pair of overalls, and I'm finally living that dream. So that makes me very happy to do. So let's move on to finished objects. Okay, finished objects. They're done. If you've been watching the podcast from the beginning, you've seen these socks every single episode. But they're done. These are socks for my boyfriend that I've been working on for a while, and I enjoyed all of it. This yarn, the pattern, it was so much fun. So, I'm going to say this one last time for these socks. The pink is Barbie from A Homespun House, and the blue is Lupin from Dragon Horde Yarn. And the pattern is Mrs. Weasley's Family Socks from Molly Klatt of A Homespun House. And I knit the biggest size plus an extra increase. So I would be sure that these actually fit him, because I have the tendency to knit socks too tight. I don't mind wearing my socks a little snug, but I didn't want these to be that way. So the thing I changed up is just I did a short row heel, and I made the cuffs just a little bit longer, and I did these toe up instead of cuff down like the pattern calls for. So if you look closely, there's a little bit of like a purl bump here and there. It's really hard to tell on this yarn, but I think it adds like a texture to it. So yeah, and they're on these metal sock blockers that my mom found at an antique fair in Prince George one year. That was many years ago, but they work perfectly for these socks, and they're specifically men's size sock blockers, so that worked out great. And yeah, so they're done finally, and I love them. I can't wait to get these to him. We are long distance, so whenever I go to visit him or he comes to visit me, he will get his socks at long last. Yeah, I think that's it. I knit these 2 at a time on 2.25 millimeter needles. Yeah, those are done. And my other finished object is this sweet little bunny. This is I haven't shown this on the podcast because I recently started this earlier this week. I think this took me a total of 3 days to make. 3 or 4. But if I had like sat for 2 days straight, I would have finished this. And I would have, because I was so addicted to making this bunny. So this is Emma the Bunny by Carrie Lord from her book Edward's Menagerie. Terrible with words. Yeah, so I'll find her. Oh, there she is. Yeah, there she is. And this is my version. I crocheted this out of Mad Tosh Finding Pottery, and then her little tail is from leftovers of a mini I had from a sock set from Dragon Horde Yarn that was a Howl and Calcifer sock set, and Calcifer, the little flame from Howl's Moving Castle, was the mini, and it was a little yellow, and so I made her little tail out of that. She's so sweet. I didn't put on the face because when I was little, I had a bunny that was sewn by my grandma, and they didn't put a face on her. And ever since then, when I make stuffed animals, I don't put faces on them because I think it gives them a little bit more character. It's kind of like the Amish dolls, that they don't put expressions on them. And I really like that because it kind of leaves up to you for the imagination of what kind of expression she has. And it gives her the handmade look. And yeah, so this was made out of yarn, and the book was a gift from Meg from Magnifinits. She sent me the most awesome package full of yarn and the book and little knitting trinkets and chocolate. I was so happy. It made my day. So if you're watching, Meg, thank you so much. I've been enjoying everything in that package. And yeah. So I crocheted this. This is DK weight yarn, except for the tail, which was a fingering, but I held it double. I used a 3.5 millimeter hook, and I followed the pattern completely. I think that's it. Yeah, so everything but the face is different. And so she's either gonna sit on the shelf for a while, waiting until she can be a gift for, I like to save these for just gifts for children's birthdays, or a gift for like a mom-to-be. These make great gifts for baby showers. Or she's just gonna sit on the shelf until she becomes a toy for my own kids one day. Which leads on to a new whip that I started from that book. So this book, I remember when Knit Picks first listed it at online or in their books, and I looked at it and I was like, I want that book. I wanted to make every animal in it because they were so cute. But that was years ago and I never did. But then Meg sent this in the package and I got so excited because I finally get to crochet these animals. And so next one I'm making is Douglas, the Highland cow, but I'm changing him up to be a blue ox. So the tale of Paul Bunyan, he always has his blue ox named Babe with him, the giant blue ox. So I wanted to crochet a blue ox. So the yarn I'm using is another, it's Tosh Sport. So the bunny was sport as well. This is Dubrovnik, 358 on their sport weight base. And it is this gorgeous blue. It's like a deep, deep blue, almost black, but there's hints of blue in there. And so far, I've got his body and his head done. I leave these strands out for sewing later. It's gonna be like that. And I've also got one of his horns done. I haven't sewn in any ends yet because I just do that all in the end. So there's his little horn. And yeah, I'm using the same hook as I did the bunny, the 3.5 millimeter. And I'm using the leftover yarn, Finding Pottery, for his horns. And I might use it as his hoofs as well on the legs, but I'm gonna look in my stash and see if I can find like either black or possibly a darker blue. But this reminds me a lot of a bull I saw once when I went to a rodeo years ago. There was this massive bull that was so black. In the sunlight, his coat looked like a really deep royal blue, just like this yarn. And so when I saw this yarn, I was like, you need to be a bull. But he's gonna be a blue ox. Yeah, again, that's from the book by Carrie Lord. Highly recommend this book if you're a crocheter who's just starting out, or a little higher up crocheter. It works for everybody. I am really happy, and you will probably be seeing animals for a while because I want to crochet them all. So after I finished my boyfriend's socks, I had quite a bit left over, enough for me to make a pair of shorty socks for myself. So this is not the last time you're gonna see this yarn. I'm making a reverse pair of shorty socks for myself, so I will be matching with him. So again, Lupin from Dragon Horde Yarn and Barbie from A Homespun House. And I'm not using a particular shorty socks pattern. I'm just winging it. So I have cast on toe up, and I went up to 64 stitches, and then I decided to do an extra increase so that they weren't crazy snug on me. And now I'm just knitting until I get to 2 inches left on my foot length to do a short row heel, and then a little bit up to do the shorty socks. So these will be done much more quickly than those socks, I promise. But I'm doing these 2 at a time, and these ones I'm doing on size 2 millimeter, which is size 0. I really like doing my socks on size 0s because it creates a nice firm fabric. It helps me know that my socks will last a while when I wear them. I'm not afraid to wear my knit socks, but I think it helps to know that your socks are gonna last longer with a firm fabric right under your heels. And they're really pretty. I am really excited. So yeah, this is gonna be my reverse pair. And my little companion for my knitting of these socks is this cute little turtle, baby turtle, which is kind of made after a crocheted turtle I made a very long time ago. And since then I have given away as a gift. But now she can be my little progress keeper. She likes seeing progress, so I have to keep up with that. And there are some baby turtles still left in the shop right now. And these are living in this awesome bag by Sew Shannon, which has a bunch of cactuses on it. Yeah. So my next work in progress, I've gotten quite a bit of work done on since the last episode. This is my Barley hat. It might just fall off the needles. Don't want that. Okay. So yeah, my Barley hat from Tin Can Knits. I am right on the decreases now, so it will be done very, very soon. Hopefully I'll get on that today and it can be cast off and I can start the next matching one. So I'm doing this on size 4mm needles, and I did the cuff in 3.75 just because I wanted this to be a little bit tighter fabric. I'm holding 2 fingering weights, so instead of the worsted weight the pattern calls for, this comes out more of a DK. So that's why I went down needle sizes. And I'm holding 2 strands together of this. This is Buddy Bracelets from That Yarn Habit, which is a Friends colorway, along with this beautiful off-white. It's like on the grayish side. This is Pearl from Pineapple Yarn, and it matches perfectly. It doesn't even look like I'm marling anything. This looks like the actual colorway. So I'm making hopefully 2 hats out of this. I might play yarn chicken, but we will see what happens. I'm making 2 of these for a couple of buddies for Christmas. This is a hat for the Handmade Holiday Along. And yeah, it feels really nice. Holding yarn double is one of my favorite things to do because it creates a different fabric from just holding, say, just DK or just worsted. Holding 2 fingerings together gives it this kind of bounciness. And it is living in my beautiful sister's bag, which I love so very much. It's got unicorns on there, and it's this pretty olive green with some flowers. It is awesome. And then my last work in progress, last but not least, my Sensum sweater by, I'm gonna try and say her last name, by Linda Skuja, S-K-U-J-A. Got my Sensum sweater. So these are the 2 sleeves I have finished, and they're crocheted flat. So these are gonna be my puff sleeves. And then I've gotten some work done on the body. Whoop. Whoa, it's too big to even like hold up. There we go. But yeah, I've gotten some work done on the body. Again, it's crocheted flat, so it's gonna be like folded over, and it's gonna be like that. I don't have enough arms for this. There we go. And I am crocheting this out of Briggs & Little Regal in the color Fundy Fog, which is color 60, lot 714. And it is 100% wool, and it is so pretty. This is what I would, it wasn't rolled up like this. This is my own fault. What I love about this is that this purple isn't my go-to color whatsoever. It's not the first thing I think of. I don't dislike it, it's just not my favorite. But this purple is what I would explain as the perfect unicorn purple, which is what drew me to it. It's got a little specks of blue and magenta in there, and it's so pretty. And it is a tad bit scratchy as it is 100% wool, but I'm interested to see once it blocks if it's gonna bloom and soften, and I don't know. we'll see what happens. But I'm crocheting this with a size 7.5 hook, and it's just plastic, which is a size down from what the pattern calls for. But I specifically did that so that the fabric was a little bit tighter, because when I was crocheting this, I noticed that my gauge was just a little bit too loose. So I went down a size, and it worked out really well. So there's still room to see the pattern, and it's still close enough together that when it's gonna bloom, it's gonna create this nice, like, thick wool fabric that's gonna be so nice and cozy to have, especially when I go out on the boat with my family, that it will not get soggy because it's 100% wool. It's also gonna keep me nice and warm, but it's still loose enough so that you can see all the pretty puffs and laciness. So yeah, I'm very excited to have this done, and I don't mind scratchy wool at all. So even if it doesn't soften, that's okay with me. But we shall see once it's all blocked. And this is living in my giant basket, which I haul around with me everywhere with whatever works in progress I have, which is perfect because I carry around a lot of works in progress. Yeah, those are all my whips, and I have a ton of other whips that you've seen before that have been just laid aside for a little bit, but I will get back to them. I'm hoping to get back to my Red Moon sweater that you've seen before once I've done my Sensum sweater. I worked on my Red Moon sweater a little bit last week, but it wasn't enough to see any progress whatsoever. I don't think I finished an entire row. So as soon as the Sensum sweater done, I'm gonna get back to working on that, because I really do want that sweater done and to wear it with some overalls. Yeah, and I'll get back to my other whips, don't worry. I just try and keep up with staying interested in my whips, so that's why I usually take in new projects faster than I can finish them. But I do get back to the ones I have set aside when my interest has been refreshed for them. I don't want to slog through finishing any projects, and then once it has a finished object, I don't love it anymore because of the slogging through. So I like to keep a little bit of a balance. Yep, that's it. Moving on to a little surprise. So recently I needed some business cards. This was a business project / school project that I designed my own business card. Last year in 2019 in February, there was the Red Moon, and I saw it and was like, oh, I want to paint that. So I did, and I gave it to my mom. And when we were trying to decide what the logo image would be on this business card for Yarrow & Co., my mom said that the Red Moon would be perfect. And I totally agreed. So I went to Vistaprint and I made my own business card with the Red Moon on there and all the links. And I love this so much. It took me a while to find something that I really like, and it turned out way different than what I had started out my idea would be for this. But I love this so much. And I went even further, that Vistaprint does even more than just business cards. They do mugs too. So I got Yarn Co. on the Red Moon on mugs, and these are going to go into the shop next Friday because I have to figure out how to ship these. Because usually shipping paintings and polymer clay charms are a little easier than mugs. But I love this so much. It's really cool to see your own hard work on a mug. So you can get yourself one of these next week, next Friday. There are going to be 9 of them because I ordered 10 and I kept one for myself. Yeah, so next week. I don't think mugs are going to be a regular thing because it costs a lot to ship, but we'll see. I want to put some more paintings on mugs, like either Sailor's Delight or Light Show, so we shall see. And I also made stickers with the Red Moon, which I have been using already on orders to cinch up the tissue paper, and they're just so pretty. It makes me really happy to see my work just go into a very professional looking product. Yeah, I feel very proud to finally get to the point where I can start making my business look professional. I mean, it was professional from the beginning, but now it's starting to look really professional, like business card and mug and stickers. So yeah, so thank you for sitting through. Well, if you're sitting, you probably are watching this. But thank you for hanging out with me with all my whips and my finished objects and all the yarny goodness. I am now a graduated student, so from high school, so I will be able to devote my time more to the shop and my whips, and I have a lot of plans to start on, which you'll be seeing throughout the summer. So yeah, stay tuned for all that fun stuff. I am beginning to list new stuff in the shop every Friday. You will see charms and paintings. Next week you'll see the mugs. And yeah, so I hope you have a wonderful day and happy knitting, happy crocheting, and I will see you next time, dear friends.